What you are seeing on screen right now is how the market really moves. An infinite tunnel of patterns folding into each other, with ranges becoming expansions and expansions creating new ranges. Every move in the market is connected, and once you understand that, the market stops feeling random and becomes your personal atlas, a map that shows you where price has been and where it's about to go. And the foundation lies in the understanding of structure and supply and demand, and knowing how to give yourself the contextual awareness of where you are at in the market so you can have the highest odds of success in your trading. And today I'm going to give you guys a really simple breakdown of how to dive deep into fractals. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys a simple breakdown of fractals before we head to the chart work. But one thing I do want to digress: if you have not already learned structure and supply and demand, I definitely don't recommend you continue learning fractals. Learn structure and supply and demand first before you continue learning fractals, because essentially the concepts build on each other, and fractals is how you're going to take those two learnings to the next level. And I do have some videos on structures and supply and demand specifically on this channel, so definitely check those out before you continue learning fractals. Okay, so that's my little rant there. But besides that, the reason why we want to learn fractals is because most traders don't actually have situational awareness across the timeframes within the markets. But for example, if we take this range here from this low to this high, most traders here are getting caught in this retracement here. And they're putting sells, 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 thinking the market's just bearish overall, but they don't understand on a larger time frame they're actually within a bigger move here. So what happens is retailers are selling, 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 and then the overall move persists of the market expanding, flushing out all of these orders here. And that is why you need to learn fractals, so you can simply zoom out and understand the overall trend in the market. And that is how you're going to have 10 times more success in the market, whether you're investing, trading, whatever it is, right? These concepts apply to everything, and that's why I teach them. But anyway, we're going to be using our friend Georgie here today, so we can dive deep into the simple understanding of fractals and how we can apply them to our charts. But anyway, Georgie's going to help us do some investigating here, do some detective work, so we can understand what's going on a lower degree. So what Georgie's going to do, he's going to scan these structures here, and we're going to see what happens. So he's scanning, 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 scanning. Okay, perfect. So what Georgie's telling us is to come down here, and we can see, oh, let's not forget Georgie. We can see what's going on a lower degree. We can see that we're still in this overall move here, followed by this second degree here. And like I was saying earlier, we can see the structure within the structure. And if we take this range, for example, we can isolate the structure within this given structure. And that's how I generally like to do it with the fractals, especially like starting out, is that you just want to isolate it one range at a time. That's the easiest way to learn. So if we take this low to this high, we can simply observe the structure within, and then this move here, which signifies the retracement. Essentially, this has to happen for a retracement to occur, no matter what. Same thing with bottoms. A break of structure on any given time frame has to occur. It doesn't matter if it's on a 1 second time frame or a 1 hour time frame, a daily time frame, doesn't matter. Some type of break of structure has to occur, and that's why understanding structure and combining it with the concept of fractals will definitely give you that edge just on its own. But yeah, we're gonna look over here to the right, and we can just see this is the same structure without the previous degrees. We can see here, boom, boom. And then of course, with the contextual awareness, we want to expect price to keep going higher until it displays otherwise. But regardless of what your bias is, definitely just isolate the range, and then from there you can either understand that we're going to run this high or we're going to run the low. And giving the higher time frame context of the market, you can decide which direction you want to trade in. Okay, so let's bring Georgie down here with us, and now we can see it goes even deeper. Guys, this is like an infinite tunnel. It's pretty trippy stuff, so you're going to want to take your time learning this, and I'm going to give you guys, a pretty simple way to do that in a second here. But yeah, so thanks to the help of Georgie, he's now dissected the structure even further. So if you recall, we're still in this overall move, expecting maybe something like that. But you can see here, it just keeps getting deeper and deeper, higher high, higher low, higher high, and then within all these structures, we have more structure, as you can see. So I think you guys get the quick breakdown there, where we have this display here without the fourth degree of structure, and we could just see what's going on there. But that's just a quick breakdown of fractals on a simple level, but you're going to get most of the value just from practicing on a chart And like I said, I'm going to give you guys like the easiest way to practice. But let's again thank our friend Georgie for helping us out today, and I'll see you guys on the charts. So the best way to apply your knowledge and gain a deeper understanding is to practice on the chart itself. So right now we're looking at Bitcoin on the 2-month view. So what you're going to want to do is pick any asset of your choice and go to the monthly views just like we are here. So let's observe the overall structure on Bitcoin. Simply, we are in a bullish leg here from this low to this high. We have yet to initiate a pullback on Bitcoin for this degree. And the way we would know that is once we break these lows here specifically, we have officially made our retracement down. Literally, we could just grab this low and continue higher, or we could even be coming a lot deeper, filling in these areas down here before we want to continue higher. That is definitely a possibility, but what we're doing for now, we're not trying to create a bias. We're just simply understanding how to observe structure and fractals on a deeper level so you can apply them to your trading and create a bias for yourself. But anyway, we understand that this is the overall move from this low to this high, and within this range here, if we just isolate from this low to this high, we can see that there is structure within the range, which is the whole game of what we're doing here. So we can see that there's this low to this high, followed by a higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and higher high. So we can see with the structure we just observed from this low to this high, these ranges exist within. And if we dive deeper, of course, we're going to see structure within more structure. But the best thing to do is just to isolate your current range. So what we want to do is just go deeper into this leg here. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's zoom in here and understand what's going on. Let's in fact go on maybe a weekly time frame, and you can see the beautiful structure that there is to work with here. So again, remember, we're in this range here currently from this low to this high. So now we're just isolating the range. We're just zooming in and trapping price so we can really understand the contextual awareness of what's going on. And then if we observe even deeper, we can understand that there's structure within this structure as well. And that is the whole idea of fractals, baby. Boom. I'm going to delete that just so we can get a clear view. But now we want to understand the current range we're in now from this low to this high. And then of course we can just go deeper and deeper, and that's what we're going to do just so you guys can really understand. Let's get, there we go. So yeah, we can see this structure here, and it just keeps going boom, 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 boom. There it is. And we could just go deeper and deeper, but essentially this is what you're going to want to do. This is kind of sprinkling in a little bit of top-down analysis, but of course with top-down analysis we're using supply and demands. This is just a quick understanding of fractals specifically to structure, and this is how you can apply it to any chart and just keep zooming in and zooming in and zooming in essentially to your desired time frame.